You have no idea how happy I am. I did my taxes by myself. Oh my goodness. And I get a $75 check back. I know. It's little, but it's mine. And I added 2 credits to my social security. Boom. Oh my goodness. It is 12 a.m. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going outside. My daughter just called me a few minutes ago, asked me if I wanted to pick her up. I said no, but I'm wondering if she's coming this way. Yeah. Ugh, I don't know. Anyway, I am so freaking excited. I cannot believe. Now, I'm really shocking myself because I am handling some stuff, boys and girls. I am big girly in it now. I'm doing it. I'm like, okay, anyway, I don't know anything about taxes. Only thing I can tell you is I just did what I did on a computer, but Free Tax USA. That's all I can tell you. And if it's a 1099, you got to put in 1099. If it's a W-2, you got to put in W-2. I paid $17 and change to file my taxes. Now, I'm never going to tell you not to go to your tax person. Absolutely, you go to your tax person if that's what you have. So I have to do mine because I have to learn how to do some things for myself because there are times when I need things done and I don't want to disturb people. And my other reasoning is I'm not a procrastinator. So it is February. I'm not sure when tax time is, but it allowed me to do it for 2025. I was doing it. I like to get things done when it is. But one of the things that helped me it sounds bad. It sounds bad, but it's not. I made nothing on eBay in 2025. So I have nothing to file when it comes to that. So I am so thankful for that because it removed all of that other stuff I would have had to do with the thing and everything. So I am basically uh, crafting for a hobby and working for Wayfair. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something I haven't said because I didn't want to put too much stuff on the internet because I have a, let's call it a nuisance. So you have to be careful what you put. But I think some things are leveling out. I'm seeing some things and I'm being okay. I'm seeing, but and plus I'm looking in on someone's thing and I see they doing a little less. So we have to digress. Anyway, so I'm so excited because now I have a dining table coming in a couple of days, and I chose the dining table to match the dining chairs so I can set them up like that. And then I take my items in the hallway and put them on the solid wall, and I take my pictures. So if anyone has seen on Facebook when I have been putting like couches and stuff like that, your girl is grinding. And so now, but I kid you not, I have always wanted to do something, and I wanted my 24 hours to belong to me. I wanted to contribute to Social Security and everything, and I wanted to not be um, relying on my crafting to try to get me, to support myself because clearly, it is what it is. So I have hit every milestone, every goal, everything without realizing that I was doing it. So about 2 days ago, I kept saying there is something coming, and I just could feel it. So I was in the living room and I was crying and crying and crying. I was in my bed. If you watch the video, you will see me burst out in tears, crying in my sleep because I can feel someone. But anyway, all of this stuff I was going through, I was going crazy because I felt as if no one would believe me. But then when I saw the video that explained this thing that I have, and it says 20% of the human race has it, and the biggest struggle is that no one would believe you. So it absolutely made me feel so good to watch my sleeping video. And the funny thing is, when I was watching the sleeping video, as soon as I woke up from that 2 hours and 17-minute nap, as soon as I said my eyes opened, the doorbell said boom, and it was my package at the door. But I deleted about 30 minutes of the video, which finally deleted. So now the copy has me sleeping. I didn't watch it again, so I don't know if you actually see when I wake up. But when it was, I think, 2 hours and 17 minutes, that's when I opened my eyes. But the video really helped me see what I needed to see, that I've been saying that I sounded like a weirdo to myself. You understand? But I'm sitting here a proud woman. You have no idea. A proud woman. So I'm thinking, if anyone seen my Facebook where I did that new thing that's going around for all of the ladies that's doing crafting and stuff, teaching, doesn't matter what it is, but everybody's is so beautiful. But I don't know how mine came out with a deck of cards facing the other person. I'm like, oh my goodness. But it all makes me feel like it is exactly me. If you see the little receipt piece of paper on the thing, it goes to show my little savings when I be throwing it into the savings, and the little pot shows the freebies, because I be sending freebies to people. ChatGPT is amazing, boys and girls. But what I am seeing, these images and stuff, and I'm looking at myself, even like right now in this screen, and then looking at myself, it absolutely captivates you in a very beautiful light. But I'm thankful for one thing that I noticed on mine. It captured me in my natural state. It didn't add anything to me other than a little bit of lip color. But I was very thankful that it captured me in my natural state, because I wouldn't want to see it throw on any, pink and it on my cheeks and a little eyeliner. I wouldn't want any of that. So when I saw it, I said, oh, it gave me a little lip color, but we're not going to deny ourselves a little bit of glamour. But I think it is beautiful. I think it is beautiful. But I had so much fun on Facebook. I am I'm on professional mode with Facebook, but I'm not interested in Facebook earnings anymore, because I understand that the earnings really come with rage bait. I don't want any part of that. Now there are things that I comment, especially if I see something like, so it is what it is. But I don't want to partake in that. I want to stay, within myself. So I said I will leave myself in professional mode. You just never know. You don't want to throw away everything. But I'm definitely not. And a lot of people that I was connected to, in that realm of whatever, I had to walk away, because I can't do it. So then I joined some different groups, and I'm loving, being in the different groups, especially like the taxes and the home ownership and the investments, and that type of stuff interests me. So I'm a grinder. I want to learn. But I kid you not, we're not gonna make this video like undecent or TMI. But I did promise 2 or 3 people that I would send them a few groups that I'm in. I joined a group for rainbows. I don't know how to say it, so please don't think I'm being disrespectful, because I'm not. Whatever you come to your mind, you think of rainbows. That's whatever it is. But I'm gonna tell y'all ladies something. We need to be involved. That's it. So and what made me join it was what something came across my screen, and I'm like, huh? And I'm feeling a certain type of way, because I see some women, they're in, whatever industry, but when they're showing, like, say if I'm showing a bracelet, they showing a bracelet, and it turned to the side, and they got the cookie out, and but I wouldn't want to show my bracelet and then turn to the back, and so I basically had to remove myself. I said I'm not commenting on that, because you're eating, I'm eating, but that's going to bring up into my algorithm. So I can't do that, Plus, it doesn't make me feel good to see, pop up a screen and somebody have all of this opened up, and it's that I'm not interested in that. I might want to see this, So I said, and then I got so angry because someone that I'm constantly, chatting with and everything, I'm noticing that, there's a lot of activity that's going on, and it's taking you away from, the main hustle and grind, whatever that may be. So I'm like, fuck that. If you selling that type of shit, I don't want it on my screen. Bye. I don't have time for that. But then I was scrolling and I see all these sexy men with their shirts off and stuff, and I don't want to partake in that. I don't want that on my screen. I'm like, But I do know I can't keep hitting not interested, because not interested is not good for the algorithm if you're trying to earn. And although right now I have zero interest because I'm not going to partake, I still know I had to ease up on not interested, So it is what it is. But I saw this man sitting in a position that I'm like, and I got curious. I'm a curious little bumblebee. So I clicked it, and then I seen all of this stuff, and I'm like, and then I went to the profile, and I'm like, boys and girls, let me tell you something. Girls, we need to be in these groups. We need to be, but I'm gonna give it to you like it is. Shut your mouth in these groups that don't belong to us. Shut your mouth. You are there to learn. Learn, boys and girls. But anyway, I saw this man, and he was anonymous, and some other stuff trying to be like discreet and stuff. And I don't know how to do those things. I tried to do something because I wanted to say something, but I needed to be anonymous, but I didn't know how to do it. So I said, I'm not gonna say it. You don't know who's on the other end. But anyway, something took me to his profile, and while he was asking this man, I saw his profile, and he has a brand new baby. And he's nice looking, you would see him, with the fellas and things, and I'm like, and I'm looking, so I'm like, and I'm like, so then I said, that could be his niece, nephew, whatever the case may be, so I went down the page, and I'm like, so I said, you know what, I got another hustle and grind now. If you don't know what my new hustle and grind is, honey, don't ask me, because I'm not going to tell you. But I'll tell you one thing, honey. I will be getting a stack of damn envelopes, and I will be dropping in some mail. But I'm sending an invoice with it. I have a new employment. I'm Investigator Shay. I'm investigator. And I always wanted to be an investigator because I was good at some of these things. Woo, master, woo, and guess what? I am gonna stay in this type of stuff because anybody come looking for me, and I find you on there, you are about to get a whole lot of Christmas presents, baby. Bunch of Christmas presents. But I was like, wow, you don't know what can come across your table, baby. We all gotta eat. We gotta eat. That means I want to earn. I saw someone, the man said he was looking for some type of way to earn, but he wanted to make sure it was legal, And it is a nice thing to hear someone say that, because as hard as I struggle, if I really wanted money, all I have to do is go outside, just stay on the corner. The amount of money that I would be able to make in the hood is, I don't know what you would say, but I don't care what anyone says. Not all money is good money. And see, one thing with me, when I put my head on the pillow, I want to go to sleep. I used to stress so bad that I toss and turn. And one thing I know now, when I lay on that bed, I am out. That's why I'm so thankful I am out. And when I saw the video, I was able to watch my chest to see that my rhythm went down and the comfort of that bed. But I kid you not, it was so funny because I'm so sick and tired of hearing that ragged ass bed go. And you wouldn't believe what I did the other day. Oh my goodness, boys and girls. I took the mattress off somewhere after midnight, and I am definitely not one that want to disturb my neighbors. Right now, it's after midnight. It's going on 1 a.m. So I took the bed off because I had no other choice. I said, you know what, let me try something. So I took off the bed and I took the platform and I turned it around and did all of that. And then when I sat on the bed, I didn't hear anything. So I said, I could save my bed. But the thing that made me so angry is that I was able to choose my samples and it was a bed in there. But I knew I couldn't put the bed together because of what my hands are going through. So I said I didn't want to do that. And then I said to myself, okay, I'm not really grinding anywhere and I can grind with my furniture. So let me put together some furniture. And since I'm in these home and garden groups and I'm seeing what people like, I said, let me do this. But what I found to be a little funny, which I didn't really understand, is how I got an invoice. So I'm like, okay, an invoice. And then I'm like, so now I can actually see some prices. Before I couldn't see the prices. I'm like, and then turn around my W-2 thing, walk in the door. So I'm like, all right. So they did send me something last year. I didn't understand it. So now I'm kind of figuring out that I was supposed to do the tax thing last year, but I'm not for sure, so I'm gonna leave that alone. And Tina, I saw you on your video today. I saw you on the thing, but I'll tell you that later. Anyway, so I missed getting the bed, and then another reason why I didn't want to get the bed is because I love the headboard and the drawers that go with the bed. I just don't want drawers under my bed. I'm a little on a paranoid side, so although I have things under my bed, I could just put my hand under it and drag the box with the socks under it from under my bed. But if I put a box, like a drawer, and pull it out, just say there was a little visitor in there, so my head thinks a little differently, but we already know I'm kind of special. So, and special people are important people. Special people are loved. I love myself. So, I said, no, I'm not going to do the bed. No. So I ended up, but I'm so thankful because, boys and girls, I don't know what in the world is going on. I ended up choosing what I chose last month, but then something happened to where I got 4 extras, and I'm like, I don't have anyone to contact. I have no phone number. I have nothing to reach out to anyone. Now I did have an issue before with the sample, and I couldn't contact anyone. When I did try to contact, no one knew, what it was or whoever. So I said, there's nothing I could do. I said, I'm being supplied some resources to help myself. So it is still in the box, left where it is, whatever the case may be. But even if I wanted to send it back, I couldn't because you need money to send it back. Nobody's posting for free. So what am I supposed to do? Nothing. So there goes that. But yesterday a package came for me. The package is stolen, but the package had my my nice stuff in it. My nice stuff that I wanted to work on now for Mother's Day, because I'm not really working too much on Valentine's. I don't really think it's there. And I'm so thankful for something, boys and girls. Y'all may think I'm crazy, but I sent out about maybe 10 bracelets, and I am so happy because everyone was happy. I am so happy. And then today someone said, you have any more of those shirts? And I'm like, and I don't have the shirts. And then the reason why I didn't have the shirts is because I need to get them when it's a certain amount of sale in order for me to allow me to say to someone, this, I don't want to be like that where everybody else, it is what it is. But I have some really nice ideas for some shirts, and they're gonna be so different. They're gonna be smart, like not smart as an education smart, but like sarcastic, that type of something that's just not me. So I had some ideas for that. My sister's cartoon thing she had on my shirt that I did with the pit bull. I absolutely love that, but I kid you not, I like seeing my work, my tangible work. So I like seeing that. So I'm working on something. I absolutely got myself something, and I don't know when it's coming, but the only thing I can say is there's a lot of changes going on. So I walked around my apartment today looking for where I could put what I needed to put, and I say, you know what? I know what I do want. I want my bracelet table and everything. So I did all that. I got my shipment today. I got a shipment yesterday. I got a shipment the day before yesterday. I've been, putting this, and that is all I'm going to do. I said to myself, if I'm going to craft, I'm going to craft. If I'm going to earn, I'm going to earn. I don't want to do something that I love and have to rely on it to pay my bills, knowing that it's not going to pay my bills. There is nothing in the world like stress, but the last few months, I've been able to make it by the grace of God, through other little metrics or whatever. But I kid you not, all I want to do now, I said this month, all I want to do is go outside. Maybe 2 or 3 times to the month because I have 3 little destinations. But other than that, I don't want to do too much or nothing. I actually cried today, yesterday, because there's a person that was so nice, and bestowed kindness to people with his vehicle. And now his vehicle is in a situation where he can't use it. And to hear someone laugh, instead of trying to figure out how to help this person, since you had access to the vehicle, and there is no help whatsoever, So I don't have access to the person, but I need to find out if I give a helping hand to someone, will they give it to that person? Because I have no way to reach them, but I feel so bad, and all I could do is cry because it reminded me of the kindness I bestowed. 2 days ago, I paid a ticket for $95, and I to pay the ticket, they wanted $11. So the good thing was I had enough, knowledge to go into bill pay and put it in there. But I already paid $184 ticket and it did not register yet. So although I paid it, I think was the 29th of December, it's not. It didn't hit there yet, and then they added a $7.40 fee. So it's as if $184 just went in the mail and got lost. And then you send me a fee. So I'm wondering if they would even say, okay, it arrived and it's dated, it's post dated, and would they take off the fee? So now I put a $95, and I did that. So now there's 500 and something left, and I'm expecting it to go down. It's not down. So now I have to work my best to hit the next 95, 96 to hit that payment off. And I'm like, I don't even care at this point. I'm to the point where I don't even want anyone to ask me, to help them. I'm like, no, And then like yesterday, my daughter wanted me to pick her up. It's freezing outside, and I'm like, no, I'm sleepy for one, you know, and I'm really tired. So I'm like, no, I need to go to work. I don't care. That's your business. That's a you issue. That's not me. Why? I'm paying tickets that I have no, I have to learn my lesson. So, but the good thing was, and I said it plain and simple, if you just think about it with a big old adult head, you would understand. That is a big, massive responsibility. I have to take full responsibility for that because if something happens, and Lord knows there's one thing I don't want to lose, and it has nothing to do with an actual car. It's my parking space. I don't want to lose the parking space. So, no way, I'm not doing that. No, and then this person has a boot on their car, and before he had an abundance of money. So when he had this money, everybody was like, "Oh, it's dapping him up," No money, no job, no nothing, can't get the boot off the car, and everybody done went bye bye. And that's why y'all have to stop sometimes. Y'all have to look. And y'all have to listen because some people are around when you up and when you down, they busy, they unavailable, whatever. Mm-mm. if I was to say, after 12 at night, no, that's not true. No, yeah, I don't know if y'all heard it, but I don't complain about stuff like that anymore. It doesn't bother me. But I feel so bad, so I'm like, dang, and then I felt bad about parting ways with someone, that's very close to me. And I kept saying, I wonder why and everything. Come to find out it's a drug habit. And that's why. So I'm like, I mailed $20 a couple of days ago, mailed 40 a couple of days ago. And I'm like, you didn't know? And I feel like it, like Bobo the Fool, because I don't partake in certain types of adventures. I don't know what's sitting right in front of me, but I kept saying why, and I'm like, why would somebody with a good head on their shoulders, a strong person that would just allow someone to take abuse, and so I don't know. So it is what it is. Boys and girls, I feel shame. I feel shame. I feel shame. I was at the elevator today by myself and I started laughing so loud. If somebody would have came to Hallway, they would have said, she must be talking to a voice in her head, but that wasn't it. There was a time when I was a different person, and I'm not saying I'm too far from that person now. I'm not saying I'm too far from that person now, but I just had a memory flash over my head that someone said something untidy to me, and rather than react, I did something that they never knew I did, but I felt better knowing that I did it. And when I was in the elevator today, it just flew across my head. But when I did it, I recorded a video so I could show two friends of mine. I recorded a video so I could show two friends. My mother was one, and a friend of mine. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Sometimes you have to laugh at some of these things, but I said to myself, mm-mm, I am not going to be that person. No, 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 no. So I am thankful for who I am today because I have to always say everybody pays a price. Everybody. No matter what you do, everybody has to pay the price. That's why when I had my nervous breakdown a few months ago, I knew I was slipping. My grasp of reality was gone. And I kept praying every day that whatever my karma was, just let me survive it. That's it. I would take the beating. I don't mind taking the beating. I'm a big girl. But please let me survive it. I didn't want it to be what took my lights out. So I made it through, and I'm very thankful. Very thankful. And matter of fact, I joined a group where people needed advice, and I find that I am able to give people advice, and I don't sugarcoat it. I don't sugarcoat it, which means it is what it is. Let me see what this man asks. This man has a girlfriend. He is working. He has an account, and she keeps overdrafting the account. So he's like, whatever the case may be, my girlfriend, and so he took, I think, control of the account or took her off, whatever the case may be. So he wanted to know, was he wrong for that? And I said, girlfriend, our, yes, you're wrong, and that's all I said. I left him the power to figure it out. That's not your wife, and you're letting her overdraft community money. That's not community money. So hopefully he can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many people with so many things that one woman, her husband slapped her, and he slapped her so hard, and he was very angry, and all these things, and she's like, do am I? And excuse me. So the only thing I could do at that moment was put myself in those shoes. Now I've been through a lot. but there's no way a man's putting his hands on me. You can put your hands on me. I can walk away. I could defend myself. But see, me, I'm wearing handcuffs. And I'm allergic to prison. And I just got a little click click for something I don't know. So if someone just say slap me today, if I had 5 seconds of awareness and just say we resided under the same roof, even if it was my roof and we resided under it, I'm leaving. But I would be easy with my reaction, give myself a few minutes to calm down, and then I would resume back smiling. But I am a Libra in every way that a Libra can be in. But I was born in September, and I find that I am more of an October Libra, which is strange. But the reason why I feel it may not be too strange is because my birthday is the 29th. So I figured I slid over because the dangerous Libras are born in October, the more peaceful one, but I am extremely peaceful. I don't like a confrontation or like any of that stuff, and I will walk away, away, away. I avoid, I have patience. I don't even know where I got my patience from, but it has kept me through some situations. But just say if a man was to hit me today, you know, all of this belongs to me, but I don't care about nothing in here other than my bank documents that I keep in one location, and I would empty out one little location. Everything under this roof would stay. Nothing. And things, no, all I need is my documents and they fit on my back. I would just be, I would be out. I would just do everything, whatever the case may be, I would be gone. And I wouldn't even have to say when I'm leaving, whatever the case may be, I would make sure you had a really nice long day out. If I had to pay for the outing, if I had to pay for the dinner, if I had to send you away for 2 days on a weekend, you would come back and the key would be on the dining table. I'll be on the dining table. I make sure maybe the kitchen counter right next to something that you couldn't miss. But no one that knew that person would ever have my address. I wouldn't even want someone to have access to saying sorry. There's a lot that I would take sorry for, but there's no mistake in beating me because I'm a fighter and I don't want to wear handcuffs at me. The way I put hands on a few men, One man had me by my throat, boom, pinned me up on the wall. Girls and boys, you should have seen me. I said, go ahead. You'll never get away from me. I'm going to haunt you for the rest of your life. I didn't even defend myself. I just put my hands up, laid my tonsil, threw it up against the wall. And as soon as he looked at me, he was like, she must be crazy. As soon as he left me, Charlotte, I always have a friend around. I picked up that pipe. I was like, boom! Ah! And then the door was open. I kicked that. Bow! Boom! Right down the stairs. Yep. I let the man beat on me. My mother be saying, but I told her she did it. She did it because we were not allowed to let people bother us. I saw Facebook today. Somebody said, my grandchildren and children are allowed to defend themselves against a bully. I will take care of the rest later. And I kid you not, I do not encourage violence. But a bully will cause you to hang your sheet up. You have to nip a bully in the bud. A bully has to be chastised where they stand. If you want any peace from a bully, any peace, if somebody come for bully you, you have to nip them right where they stand. I kid you not. Kid you not. That's why I tell everybody you need you a brass knuckle and you go under the chin. Just under the chin, baby. Under the chin. After that, make sure they cannot walk again. I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about ever. No, I don't do not encourage abuse. I do not encourage abuse, but I do encourage defending yourself, because if you let a man hit you and you then let him tell you he's sorry and he loves you, you lost your everlasting mind. You lost your mind. When I hid you not, that's why I tell women I am going back to where I used to be. I don't want a man to put his mouth on me. You can't. I don't want your mouth on my neck. Don't kiss my back. Don't do any of that. I truly believe in the Bible when it says that Adam ate the apple. I believe the apple was his mouth, putting it where it had no business being. And that's why I say I cry and I cry and I cry. I was in someone's in location or whatever, and the person hugged me in kindness. In kindness. The person smelled so good. And this happened today. Yesterday, the person smelled so good, and I have not had a man, around me in a certain type of way. So I was holding, I'm like, and my head got dizzy, and as soon as and I just completely, I'm all over the kitchen sink, and I'm just out, and then, get your hands off me. I had to say, get your hands off me, but the good thing was he stepped back and, put his hands up. He was like, I can't let you fall out in my house. So I'm like, just let me lay on the counter. But I don't want, I'm in the state of healing right now. So I'm doing everything I can to stay by myself, because when you are this way, little things could tip you over the edge. So I realized today, the person that I was around, I am 110% safe around him. But the sad part about it is he is deeply, deeply in love with me, and I wish I could be, with this person, because everything I would want and need would be that person. But I can't be in any capacity with someone that I'm totally against visually, and I feel horrible even feeling it. I even almost cried yesterday when I'm looking. I'm like, I just can't. I just can't. And for me to be missing 11 teeth because of medicine that drive out it one after the other, I make sure I hit the dentist appointment. If I had to pay out of my pocket a lot of times for different things in my mouth, but I did it because my priority is my mouth. So if you're walking around with excess amount of money in your mouth is not a priority, there is no chance for you and I, because I really check for a man with a decent mouth. It is what it is. So everybody has something they like, but teeth. Now you got and you got it open up, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Now, if I was to just say, okay, if I didn't have someone facetious on my channel and I was to take out my partial, you would be like, oh my, are you? When I went to my mother's house one day, I just said, shh, and then I said, look, and she's, and then when my daughter, she started to cry. She started to cry. I'm like, what are you crying for? I'm like, excuse me? And I'm looking at, what are you crying for? The other day I asked my dentist, could he take all my teeth out? You don't know what it is to be drilled without Novocaine. They shot me 7 times with Novocaine, and I couldn't feel the Novocaine. When they drilled my mouth, all I could feel was the drill. I can't even imagine living through that. But I couldn't feel the drill because the day before, life had got so bad that I tried to commit suicide. So I took all this medicine thinking I was going to be dead. And then I woke up, and I'm like, looking around like I wasn't supposed to be here, not with all of what I took. I was going to outville. But then I ended up at the dentist's office, and then they shot me. And I'm like, I still feel, but when they took the drill, and then I'm like, I'm trying to grab up, and I'm like, but and then because of that, they would no longer see me anymore. And I was going all the way up there to the dentist. They beautiful people. They treat me good. Half the time I was the only black person that I ever saw up there. But I felt, when they gave you a 1 o'clock appointment, they called you at 1 o'clock. So you know what I'm talking about when I say I was in good company. 1 o'clock, yeah, missing. I didn't have to worry about being 5 minutes late. And then, no, you need to be 5 minutes early because when the clock hit 1, they're calling you at 1. So, and I have always had nice people and stuff. So, and it wouldn't take me anymore, all because of that day. But sometimes you have to say, life is what it is. But yesterday my doctor called. Yesterday my caseworker called. So finally, I said, we need a sit down. We need a sit down. I need a place to live out of this environment. And I explained to her, and she's of understanding. And I told her I don't fit in this neighborhood. I need somewhere, and I need it to be. And she said, okay, we need to sit down. It is time to find me somewhere to live. Find me somewhere, but I need a zip code that I need so that my freaking car insurance will go down. If I go to the zip code that I need, my car insurance goes down 300 plus. So there you go. And she's like, well, I don't care. I said, I'm 56. Put me in senior housing if you have to, but I need to be in a different neighborhood because I don't fit in where I live. I'm sick and tired of saying it. I don't want to lose parking. So I made it clear I need a parking space. I need a parking space. There is an apartment. There is an apartment on a street that I could take in that zip code. But the reason why I can't is because it's a street that I have a history on where I had to do an emergency move. Something happened one day. I had to call my caseworker. They had me out of there, moving truck in there. I didn't even know when the moving truck came. They had me out the very next morning. So you don't know who knows you. And the people that were looking for me didn't know me from anywhere, but I just happened to know someone else. So I didn't put myself in that situation. So when I found out whatever it was, I called my caseworker. They said you'd be picked up at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I packed up as much as I could. 8 o'clock in the morning, I was picked up, and then I was put somewhere a little bit far and stuff, and then I was relocated. So it is what it is. But people, places, and things, and people wonder why I don't want to be around people, but you don't know who you may be around, and they just drop something. That's why I kid you not, I be in my car sometimes. If I loan my car to somebody, I look under the seats and everything. I've driven my car and found a spliff, under the passenger seat. One time I found a bottle of liquor in the back, and these are the things that bother me because I don't partake in certain things, and God knows I wouldn't be behind the wheel with it. But if it's my vehicle, I'm, registered and all that, who do you think is going to take the blame? And what am I supposed to say? I gave somebody a freebie, let them ride my... No. So I said, now I just have to shut up and say no. And that's it. So hopefully it'll work itself out, because I almost gave up my car when I didn't know how to master saying no. And now it is so much better, for me to say no. And I felt, a certain type of way. I have to say, I am so thankful to all of you who stayed on this channel when I was going through what I was going through, because I kid you not, I almost gave up my channel. 2 days ago, I almost deleted my YouTube channel because I really and truly was going through something. I didn't want it on my channel, but I just took a few days off. I was recording, and instead of posting I just gave them some dates and left it like that, because I didn't know. Today I did 2 videos. I deleted the 2 videos and stuff. When someone is not for you and they're watching your channel and they're being facetious and stuff, you don't really want to share, but you don't know what your story could be that someone else could silently be going through and you could help them. So I said, you know what it is? I am who I am. I will, but you may have noticed I don't drive anymore with my phone. I don't know who may be somewhere, I got a text from someone, and when the person texted me, I was devastated, but I was devastated. But it is what it is, and that's it. So I don't want to. I'm good. I'm good with computers. I'm good with. I could find a nail under a rock, but I do know that the capacity of revenge could leave you in a position to where you be eating 3 free meals and sleeping on concrete, for the rest of your life. And I have legit known some people that spent years in jail. My friend was in jail. He said they put him under the jail and it was black 24 hours. And he said that he is almost positive they served him rat. And he had no choice but to eat it because that's all he had. And another friend of mine was incarcerated. They put him in a cell with no window in winter and stripped him down with no clothes. And he laid on that concrete. And he said the only thing he could do is just pray and to die. And I asked him, did you cry? He said, no, I couldn't cry. He said, if I had cried, I would have gave up too much. And I understand what he means. I didn't understand it at the time. But when I was arrested just recently, I didn't cry. There was no fear. And I don't know what I was going down for. But when they had me handcuffed, my hands twisted, chained me to the thing, and I'm in there. And the only thing I'm thankful for is that the man that was watching me, I went to school with his wife. So, but then I'm like, and I'm just sitting there talking to God, and I'm just making sure he understands, take care of my child, because the first minute they leave me by myself, I'm going to eat my wrist. I already knew it. If you had taken me any further, the minute they would have left me by myself, I was going to bite a big little lump out of my wrist and lay right there and bleed to death, because I'm not going to prison. I don't know. Y'all can laugh and say what the hell y'all want to say, but I am not showering, sleeping, none of that in the close quarters with females. I need a man in my existence. I need balls swinging, and I need a ding-a-ling in my atmosphere. You lock me up 25 to life with tits and a fur burger, you best to get my sheet and hang me up, baby, because there's nothing left for me. Absolutely, absolutely. I don't care what the storm is. I love a man. I love a man. And I kid you not, a man that smells good, stay away from me. Like when you walk in his house, I'm talking, it is so, when he walks in here, he's like, sometimes when he has company, he has to come up here to get away. And he just tell me how my house feel. I'm like, that's how his house feel. That's how his house feel. I'm telling you, sometimes I'm like, where did you get those curtains? And every time I turn around, he's buying new furniture and giving away new furniture. He works so much, you can barely even get a seat print in the furniture. You talk about OCD. The man can cook out of nowhere, but you would never believe he cooked because you see no trace of kitchen activity, none whatsoever. But I kid you not, I don't want anything to do with a man, but I still am a woman. That's it. So it is what it is. But I almost deleted my video of me sleeping. But if you watch that video, can you see the peace? Do you see the peace that I was in? Oh my goodness. And then another thing that I noticed, I used to snore like, I'm talking boom. I used to wake myself up. But I noticed that when I started losing weight, and then I'm like, oh, wow. But I can see why my mouth is desert dry. I barely open my mouth. Barely open. And then I could hear. Now, I used to have an ex boyfriend. When he used to sleep, he used to sound like he was um, blowing bubbles. I heard that from me. That where I got to a level of, and I heard it. So it's so amazing. I think everybody, and I'm not saying post it so the world can see it, because I got a phone call and she was like, you're not gonna do anything nasty. I'm like, no, but I kid you not. When I was asleep, I didn't know how long I was going to sleep, but one of the reasons why I also wanted to do a recording is because I wanted to know how long are my naps. Because when I wake up, I feel so good. It's like this feeling I just can't. But I didn't used to sleep like that. But now I'm like, and I'm noticing that I can't really say too much because my medical provider, I believe he's watching my channel. That's all I can say. And I can't say no more. One of them, and I can't say any more because I don't know where I could put someone in trouble. But I can't say much more. But I believe it's what I thought I wasn't able to say. I absolutely know that it's understood now, so I'm thankful. So, Coral, I think you understand because I mentioned it to you, but I don't have to say anything anymore. It is well understood. So, when I say what I say, everyone should record themselves sleeping, even if it's just to watch it back for yourself. But I was watching the video when I realized it was 2 hours long. I said, oh, please don't let me have picked up something off that table, because there's some times in the middle of my sleep that I go through things, and then in my sleep I reach, so I'm like, please don't let me do that. But I don't know. It was a beautiful experience, a beautiful experience. But I did cut out a part of the video that I will tell you now. I went to the thrift store about 5 years ago, and I carried in a spirit, and the spirit always plays with my face, and I don't like it. I researched it, and it basically said that at that moment something was in my home that they didn't want in here, and I got it out. But whatever this spirit is, it's been in here for about 3 days now. So it's back messing with my face, and it bothers me only when I'm sleeping. But during the daytime, I could be cooking, doing my video, and I can feel someone, and I feel him. So it stops me from what I'm doing. I could be exercising, I could be doing anything, and it stops me in my tracks. And I break down, I scream, I do the whole 9 yards, because I always feel someone when I'm attached to them. And I don't know anyone who has ever felt what I felt other than another Libra. And to give you an example of something that I felt, I was living across town one time, and my ex didn't make himself visible for about 7 days. So a couple days I started, I was wondering if the person was dead. So, I called a jailhouse and everything. And I'm the person that when you walk out the door, I'm not where I'm not one of those nags. So I started getting curious, but I was home, and if I instantly got a feeling, but the feeling that I got, he had just released himself with another person, if that's the decent way to say it. So that day he happened to walk in my door. I was in my bedroom, and my front door was always open, but not just open like unlocked, but open, so that I could get breeze from downstairs. So however, and then he walked in and he came to me, and I'm like, I said something, no arguing, no none of that stuff. And then he just said, what are you talking about? I said, well, about 45 minutes ago I felt you. And then when I said I felt you, he completely understood. He did not disrespect me enough to say, it wasn't true. He trusted that I felt him. So that was the end of that. But at that moment, I was pregnant. I was pregnant at that moment, and she has her daughter, and my son never made it. Never made it. So I wasn't able to manage that. So I tried to end it, and I ended up not realizing it. I ended up in hospital, and my best friend was living on my block, and I didn't know what I did, but I went to her house and I left my daughter there. I didn't remember, didn't have any awareness. I was really far gone, and I went home and I took a whole bunch of pills and laid down. Although she was my best friend, she had never been in my home. So that day she came and she found me. I was not aware of her being there. I wasn't aware of me doing what I did. I woke up 14 days later in the hospital, and that's when I found out. But I had a condition that the doctor made me terminate. I couldn't hold anything. I was my floor was full of vomit. If I moved my head, the vomit would just pour out. And the one thing that I cannot stand to be around is bananas, but it was the only thing I would be able to eat to keep the vomit down. So, and they told me I should have named my daughter Miracle because there is no chance I would be able to have another kid. So I ended up having to go to the termination doctor, and I wanted so bad to leave, and I said, no, please, just never mind. And I said, I know it's my son, and the lady just said, "Joke" into my arm. So something like that, especially when I was willing to die at that point, to just go through what I had to go through. And it was a matter of me, dying. So I was willing to die. I made up my mind on the table at that moment when I said, never mind, forget it. And then she just said, "Shh," in my arm. And I was never able to. So from that day till now, I have not been able to hold anyone's child. It's been horrible. I don't want anybody's kid in my house, and I've never been able. So there's a lot of things, but I've been through so much that it's hard to say if I will ever heal, but I absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that it was definitely what I wanted. It was a boy, and his name was going to be Lucky. I had already named him. I saw everything, so I was really, really, really willing to die. And the lady just said, "Shh," and they did it to someone else, who had changed their mind, and the person, made them lay down, held them down, and somebody held their feet, and they put something in them. That they felt they were screaming in pain. They just didn't care. So I understand one thing and one thing only. Once you sign that document, they only see the dollar signs. That's it. And after that happened, I ended up getting a job. And the job was to open up mail and separate checks and stuff like that. So I liked my job. I didn't know it was going to be. But then when I opened up and you had to document the things, basically you have to open up the paper and you see the person's name that had an abortion. And it shows that the limbs, and if it's the left and the right. And that was emotional bandwidth that I was not able to manage. So I ended up quitting my job, and it was the highest paid job I ever had at that moment in my life. It was like maybe 25 at the time, and it was the highest paying job, and I was doing everything I could, to get out of the neighborhood that I'm currently living in now. And just to think I got out, and then something happened, and I ended up back. So I don't want to speak ill of anywhere, that I have a roof over my head. But if I was in a different environment with different opportunities, I believe my outreach would be different. Here, if I wanted to be a drug dealer, I could be a drug dealer. If I wanted to be on drugs, and stuff. And I'm not being facetious, and I'm not, talking down. I'm thankful for my roof, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So I have, no. But I'm going to tell you, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything, for everything. And I kid you not, my daughter was supposed to come yesterday, and I really, really, really want to show her my beautiful cup. I did not know that this cup would serve a purpose, and I go back and forth to the kitchen so less often now. And then my other cup, I would put my ice in it and put it on my table and go to sleep. And sometimes it was like a little warmer, but I fill this bad boy up with my ice and I put it on my table. And when I wake up in the middle of the night, it is just like I refreshed it at that moment. So I tell you no lie, I am so thankful, because I tell everyone, anything you deal with emotionally, you need a YouTube channel, whether you earn or not, because it is definitely the best therapy you'll ever have. Mm-mm, mm, mm, mm. But I'm trying to think, if I'm getting in that car, I'll take myself out for a little ride. I kid you not. But I'm gonna call my friend. It's now it's after 1 a.m. I'm gonna call my friend and see if we riding, because we have date night. It is so nice to go outside. I be going to the casino, boys and girls. Sometimes I don't even play. I just take my cell phone. They got Wi-Fi, so, and I have Wi-Fi here. I don't want you there. I'm going there. It's just Wi-Fi. I'm not playing the game because it costs them gas. But I be like this. Show my Facebook like this, but the music, and I be watching people win. This lady won 10,000 and change the other night. I'm looking at her machine, like, and I'm just looking, but it was so nice. This lady, her machine won, and she won, I think, $325. As soon as she won that $325, she pulled it right out of that machine. She got up and walked right to the cash thing. I said, now I hope you leave in the casino, because I said, now that's a player. That's a player. She's not about to give the casino back that money. So I was like, But I kid you not, my friend, 365. And I'm like, pull it out. Let's go. And I'm like, oh, no. But I sat there and I said, I will never play like that. But the other day, my daughter made me laugh. She said, Mommy, you addicted to the casino. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you don't know your mama, honey. No. I may go for the bells and whistles and a little bit of activity, but addicted, not Shay. Honey. Nope. If I even think I'm getting addicted, I'm not going anymore. And she said, Mommy, could you go a year without going to the casino? Absolutely. And now that I understand a little bit more about what's going on up in here with all of my stuff, I really might stay up in here and do nothing but sit in there and build up furniture, take pictures. I might buy me one of them little beautiful backgrounds, make it look like stars and stuff behind it. Shane's Creations. But I am so thankful. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Oh, no, I won't say anymore. This video is way too long. Bye-bye.